Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you here as always. So this week we're going to talk about movies. Yeah, surprise, surprise. My top 8 movie lists have been quite popular, and that's great because I really enjoy talking about them. I've watched a lot of movies in my lifetime, and I watch a lot of obscure movies, a lot of movies that kind of relate to my old life, you know, the gang years and the skinhead years. So this week, let's talk about gang movies. Yeah, I want to give you my top 8 gang movies, and that refers to whether it's about gangs in general or a certain gang or prison gangs or even redemption and, you know, people leaving gangs and stuff like that, because that's what I'm about, really. Grab yourself a coffee, grab yourself a popcorn, and hey, if you want to be a really cool guy and buy me a coffee, links are in the description below. You can also buy merchandise and sign up to my Patreon and all that other good stuff that keeps us a little small YouTuber fed and happy. So let's get into it. Here's my top 8 gang movies. So coming in at number 8 is actually a sequel. Yeah, it's a New Zealand made movie called What Becomes of the Broken Hearted. Now this is a sequel or a follow-up to Once Were Warriors. I'm sure many of you have seen that film, you know that movie. Well, this is the sequel in the book series written by Alan Duff. It centers around one of the main characters. His son is in a gang and shit goes down, and it's basically what happens around this gang. Now, the reason it's at number 8 is, for me, it's a bit of an American production. Like, I know Once Were Warriors, it was an incredible film. It blew up massively. It was huge worldwide, and rightfully so. It was an incredible film. Now, unfortunately, they tried to jump on that popularity and they made What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, and they tried to make it more like an American gang film. That's why it's at number 8. Still, it's a great story. It's a continuation of Once Were Warriors. So if you want to know what happened to, you know, Jake and Nig and, you know, all the family, check out What Becomes of the Broken Hearted. It's a great film, so check that one out. So coming in at number 7 on the list, this is an old classic from way back in 1988 that has an incredible soundtrack. Colors. Now, this is probably one of the first ever movies to really highlight gangbangers, specifically Bloods and Crips in LA. Now, it centers around a young rookie police officer who joins the crash unit, which is basically the gang task unit in LA. He signs on with a veteran, and it's basically about them, you know, him learning the streets and yada, yada, yada. It's a bit of an American Hollywood production, of course, but it's got Robert Duvall and a very young Sean Penn, who plays an incredible role, and it's pretty gritty. It does show a gritty side of gang life and a bit more realistic as to what it was actually like back then. And of course, has an incredible theme song, Colors. None other than Ice-T, the original gangster.
The gangs of LA will never die. Just multiply colors.
But Colors, great movie, go check it out. Coming in at number 6 on the list is an old classic featuring another gangster rapper from back in the day, Boys in the Hood. Yeah, that's right, that absolute classic movie featuring Ice Cube. And I do believe this was actually his first breakout acting role as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is basically a movie about 3 teens growing up in South Central LA, and navigating life and relationships. It centers around the gangs, how hard it really was in South Central LA at the time, how the gangs just overran everything. It was just impossible to get away from that life. The story is about these guys who are just trying to navigate through, and they all end up in different paths, different directions in life, you know, and it is a great movie. It's a classic. It's well worth watching. Okay, so coming in at number 5 on the list is actually one of my favorite movies, Blood In, Blood Out. Now, this is an absolute classic movie. And again, it focuses on 3 young guys, all family, all raised in the same hood, trying to navigate through life in the mean streets of East LA, you know, during the 80s with all the gangs. Now, this is more of a prison gang type movie, because it follows these, you know, as I said, these young guys who take different parts. One of them ends up in a prison gang, and, you know, I'm not going to ruin this story, but the majority of the movie does focus around these characters in these gangs in the prisons, you know, and it's an incredible movie. It's so well written. The visuals in it are absolutely stunning. And as a bonus, there is a free copy to view on YouTube. Yeah, so go check out Blood In, Blood Out. It's an incredible gang film, and it is a tale of redemption as well. Keep watching until the end of the movie, and this video too. Don't forget that. Always watch till the end, you know. All right, so coming in at number 4 on the list, this is another South Central classic, Menace to Society. Yeah, that absolute classic gangbanger film. Another film about a young guy growing up in South Central, trying to find his way out, and, you know, just him confronting the violence and the gangs and all the culture and the struggles of everything. And it's a gritty movie. It's really well done, you know, very realistic, and it really does show what that life was like at that time. That's why it's such a highly praised movie, and that's why it's number 4 on my list. All righty, we're getting into the good stuff now. The top 3 list. Oh, here we go. So coming in at number 3 is a fairly recent movie, one I've only just recently watched, Shot Caller. Absolutely incredible film about prison gangs, mostly white supremacist prison gangs, you know, the ABers and NLR and all those kinds of groups. Well, that's what this is basically focused around. Focuses around one guy in particular and how he works his way up through the brand. And, you know, it really highlights the prison gangs and how they work and, you know, all their structure. And it just, man, this is a wicked movie. It's really good to watch. It follows him as he gets out and, you know, everything he goes through and yada yada. And the changes from when he first goes in to when he gets out, oh man, it's unbelievable. Well worth checking this movie out, and it is available on YouTube for free, I do believe, if it's still there. Go take a look, but not until the end of the video. Alrighty, so number 2, we're heading back to New Zealand because New Zealand has a bit of a gang culture. Now, this is a fairly new movie again, but it is one that really, really grabbed me. It's a movie called Savage. Now, this is about a gangster who is conflicting about his life and his family that he left behind, all this internal conflict that's going on with him. And it is inspired by a lot of true events as well, according to Google. This really shows a dark side of gang life in New Zealand. It's pretty close to reality as how the gangs operate. So if you want a good glimpse into New Zealand gang life and you want to see a really good movie of redemption, go check out Savage. You won't be disappointed with this one. Alrighty, so it's time for the number 1. What's going to be the number 1 gang film? Any guesses so far? Well, this one predates all the movies that I've already put on that list. Now, this one is a classic film, and no one can deny it. You'll know what I'm talking about. The Warriors. Yeah.
Warriors, come out to play.
It's the penultimate gang movie. It is all about gangs. Now, if you've never seen this movie, if you don't know what it's about, it's basically set in New York in a time where all the gangs rule the street, and the gangs get together. They have a big meetup. There's a killing, and one of the gangs gets accused of it. Now, they have to fight their way back to Coney Island, which is a fair way away from the Bronx where this meeting is at. And so they have to fight their way back. And yeah, spectacular film, great soundtrack, amazing. And it is considered the classic gang film. And it always will be my number 1 movie. I've watched it absolute dozens of times. I even got to see it at the movie theaters just a couple of years back. One of the theaters played it on the anniversary. So experiencing it in a theater was just amazing for me. A movie is based on a book, and apparently the book's really good. If you're into reading, I would suggest checking out the book. But the movie has also spawned an Xbox video game, and it has been referenced in popular culture forever.
Can you dig it?
Boys, come out to play.
So that's why it's my #1 gang movie. All right, so there you go. There's another movie list for another week. And hey, do you want me to keep going with these? Like, I've got so many different niches and genres of movies that I can do. I can keep you entertained for weeks, months, years even. Let me know down below, what's your favorite genre? If it's the more obscure, the better, and I'll look into it. And I'll do more of these top 8 lists. Yeah, because they're fun. I love doing them. But that's it for me for another Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. You know, life's been a bit chaotic for me lately, but I'm getting there. So hopefully see you on Thursday, and if not, I'll definitely see you on Sunday. Stay safe out there, everyone. And hey, as always, if you want to keep supporting me and keep supporting the channel, give us a big like, subscribe down below, and hit that little bell to get notified, or buy me a coffee, merchandise, all that good stuff. You'd be helping me out massively. Peace out, y'all. Have a great day, and love and light to y'all.